50,000 years ago. Africa, dark night. A man is lying on the ground, not sleeping, dead. His tribe is standing around him, completely silent. Nobody is crying, nobody is running, nobody knows what to do. Because this has never happened before, not to someone they loved. And then one woman, slowly, picks up a handful of dirt and places it on his chest. Nobody told her to do this. No religion, no ritual, no rule, just instinct. That moment, 50,000 years ago, was the first funeral in human history. And what happened next changed everything we know about what it means to be human. Before we go further, I need you to think about something. When someone you love dies, what do? You cry, you gather, you remember, you make sure they are not alone, even in death. That feeling, that need to honor the dead, is not modern. It is not religious. It is 300,000 years old. And the story of how it started is one of the most shocking discoveries scientists have ever made. 2013, a cave in Iraq, Shanidar Cave. Scientists digging through layers of ancient soil, and then they found something impossible. A 60,000-year-old grave. Inside, a Neanderthal man, buried carefully, deliberately. But that was not the shocking part. Around his body, pollen, flower pollen, 60,000-year-old flowers, placed around a dead body by someone who loved him, by someone who felt, in that moment, that death deserved something beautiful. Scientists were speechless, because this was not supposed to happen. Neanderthals were not supposed to feel this way. They were supposed to be primitive, just animals. But animals do not bury their dead with flowers. Only beings who understand loss do that. But here is where it gets even more shocking, because Neanderthals were not the first. The real first funeral was done by a creature that scientists did not even think was capable of thought. Stay with me. 2015, South Africa, Rising Star Cave. Deep inside, so deep that scientists had to crawl through passages 18 centimeters wide, they found a chamber. And inside that chamber, 15 bodies, all the same species, all placed carefully, all in the same position. This was not an accident. This was not a flood or a disaster. Someone carried these bodies deep into this cave deliberately. The species? Homo naledi, a creature with a brain 1/3 the size of yours. Scientists said it was impossible. A creature that small-brained could not possibly understand death, could not possibly feel grief. But the evidence was right there. 300,000 years old, 15 bodies, carried, placed, honored. And then something even more shocking. One of the bodies had markings on the cave wall beside it, symbols, made by Homo naledi. Nobody knows what they mean, but they were put there, next to the dead, for a reason. And that reason changed how scientists think about the origin of human consciousness. Now, you might be thinking, okay, they buried their dead, but what did they actually feel? Did they understand death? Did they grieve like we do? The answer will make you see your own grief differently. Let me tell you about an elephant. 2003, Kenya. An elephant named Eleanor collapsed. She was dying. Another elephant, Grace, came immediately. She tried to lift Eleanor with her tusks. She stayed with her for hours. When Eleanor died, Grace stayed beside the body all night. The next morning, Eleanor's own family arrived. They touched her body gently with their trunks. They stood silently. For days, different elephants kept coming back, touching her, standing, remembering. Now, 50,000 years ago, ancient humans did exactly the same thing. Archaeological evidence shows that ancient humans stayed with their dead, sometimes for days. They brought food, they brought flowers, they sat beside the body. Not because someone told them to, but because leaving felt wrong, because the person was still someone, even in death. Cambridge University researcher Penny Spikins says, ancient humans understood death, not as an ending, but as a change. The person was gone, but not forgotten. and that belief was the beginning of every religion ever created. But the most shocking part of this story is what ancient humans believed happened after death. And the evidence of that belief was found in a grave that should not exist. 100,000 years ago, Israel, Qafzeh Cave, scientists found a grave. Inside, a young woman, and beside her, the antlers of a deer, placed carefully across her body. But here is the thing, those antlers were not food. There was no meat on them. They served no practical purpose. They were placed there for a reason that had nothing to do with survival. Scientists believe those antlers were a gift for the journey ahead. Ancient humans believed there was a journey ahead. They believed death was not the end, that the person was going somewhere, and they wanted to make sure they had what they needed. This is the oldest evidence of belief in an afterlife. 100,000 years old, before any religion, before any civilization, before any written word. A grieving family placed a gift in a grave because they could not accept that the person they loved was simply gone. And that feeling, that absolute refusal to accept that love simply ends, that is 300,000 years old. It is older than language, older than art, older than fire. It is the oldest human thing there is. When you stand at a grave, when you light a candle for someone gone, when you look at old photographs and feel that ache, you are not doing something modern. You are doing something ancient, something your ancestors did in a cave with flowers 60,000 years ago. Grief is not weakness. Grief is the oldest proof that you loved someone. And 300,000 years ago, a small-brained creature carried a body deep into a cave and placed it carefully, because even then, love was stronger than death. Subscribe to Human Roots and comment below. Do you think ancient humans believed in an afterlife? See you in the next video.